What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back at it again with another episode of Stats Over Politics, episode 168 to be exact. We are back at it again this week on a Friday. We let you guys know we're going to be giving you our NBA episodes on Fridays, so we will not be covering any football. So this will be only basketball episode, and as you can see, all roads always lead to Kevin and Toddy. Toddy, how are you doing today, brother man?
Feeling great, guys. Guess what? You guys will never guess what happened to us about an hour before we hopped on the podcast. We can watch the games now, guys. We're back. Disney and ESPN and YouTube TV have reconciled for all of the fallen soldiers that probably didn't make it. All the guys that canceled, all the guys who jumped ship. Me and Kevin, we stood tall. Stood tall in the pocket. Aaron Donald's coming in our face. Pause. We're in the
Aaron Donald is coming in our face.
We're in the pocket. Aaron Donald is right next to our left tackle. We stood tall in the pocket and we delivered. Game-winning touchdown. So I didn't know if it was gonna happen. I don't know how long this was gonna go. I didn't know if it was because then we had to start rethinking options of what we had to do. We couldn't just drop it because we had the NFL package. Couldn't just drop it. You drop that, you drop everything. So for all the people that didn't make it, it's like that time when LeBron was down 3-2 in Miami in the finals. People started leaving the stands, and then Ray Allen hits the corner three. He hits the corner three, and then people start trying to run back in and get back into the stadium. Doors locked down, guys. Sorry, I don't know what you want me to do.
Doors closed behind you.
Can't come back. Can't come. No in and outs. So I'm psyched. But we get to watch basketball again. College football, we're back. I know Kev's going to hit me 8 a.m. sharp about the parlay.
God did.
God did.
No one believed, but God did. Yeah, so like Toddy said, for those of you who have tuned in for the past, probably 3 episodes, the intro has been F YouTube TV, you're taking all our money. But now everything has been resolved. I'm happy that it got to this point. Would have been lovely, last week, just because the Eagles did play on Monday Night Football. Had to run around and try to figure it all out. But, hey, it all worked out for the best. Letting you guys know, Alex will not be joining us. She had plans on this busy Friday night. And Shaun, the host of this podcast, will not be here until after football season, high school football season. I don't know if you guys know this, but Shaun's a pretty big deal. Sideline reporter, all that kind of good stuff. So, Shaun, we wish you were here. Alex, we wish you were here. But like I said, the show must go on. And as we get into it, let's do it. This week in the NBA, Toddy, I'm going to start it off because last episode, we talked about this team and we talked about shambles. What are they going to do? How are they going to figure this out? And this is the New Orleans Pelicans. Toddy and I did a podcast right after the draft, and we talked about the impact Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears were going to have, and the impact is phenomenal. Jeremiah is averaging 10 points and 4 assists. Derek Queen, these past 5 games, has been on a tear. He's averaged 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 53% from the field on 26 minutes a night. If this team continues to lose games and just kind of go downhill, they're going to give these young guys the keys. And we're talking about the Jeremiah Fears and the Derek Queens, but we can't forget the Trey Murphys of the world. He has really picked up his game this year. 19 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and he leads them in points, assists, rebounds, and threes made this season. One more thing that I wanted to add to my This Week in the NBA, I had to pull it up on my phone because I did not type it in my notes. You know me. You know I love me a good dookie. Jalen Johnson, 31 points, 18 rebounds, 14 assists, and 7 steals. My God. Everyone forgets that he went to Duke because he played in the COVID year. No fans. But he was hurt last year. We talked about how much of an impact we're expecting, not only him, but the other moves they made, like Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Kristaps Porzingis. They brought in a lot of guys for a reason. So it's going to be really exciting to see how this all kind of plays out. But not Jeremiah. That's not his name. I'm thinking about Jeremiah Fears. Excuse me.
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson. Sorry. Yes, Jalen Johnson. Huge shout out to you. Dookies all the way. So, Toddy, what do you have for this week in the NBA?
I do want to carry a little bit because my other this week in the NBA was Jalen Johnson. Side note, I'm playing against Kenny in our NBA league this week, and I had already, for people who don't know, NBA, this is all of our first year playing fantasy basketball, and we're doing it through Sleeper, so it's a little bit different from, I don't know how ESPN does it or Yahoo or whatever other platform does it. They give you the option. They give you the option of how many games that they play, and you have to pick which game to lock in. And you have until the next game that they actually play to lock in a game. I had already locked in Jalen Johnson the week before. Yes, I locked him. He had 40 fantasy points, and I was like, that's way above his average. It's solid, right? Jalen Johnson had 84 fantasy points. 84! 84! And guess what I'm sitting here just in awe of what he's been able to do.
Sick.
Kind of to piggyback on what Kevin was already saying, Jalen Johnson has his last couple of games, he's 30. Kevin already mentioned the numbers: 38, 31, 18, and 14, and 7 steals. To add on to that, and the last game
against?
Yeah,
who did they play?
This last game,
it went stupid. Who did they play?
They played against Utah. Yeah. So and then the game prior, they were actually in Sacramento. They played against the Kings. He had 24 and 10 and 8, and the game prior he had 16, 10 and 8. So Jalen Johnson has been playing like a guy you could build your team around. And the Hawks are on a 3-game winning streak, and Trae Young is nowhere to be found. Obviously, he's hurt. I'm a Trae Young guy, but I have always been pretty headstrong on Jalen Johnson just because he has been hurt the last couple of years, so he hasn't really been able to we haven't really been able to consistently see him in the lineup. So we're starting to see now. He was a top 7, 8 pick?
Top 10 for sure. I don't know. I can Google that for you.
When he was drafted. So, I mean, that year kind of gets swept under the rug, as Kevin already mentioned, because it was the COVID year. So the whole world was in shambles. We didn't know what was going on. Justin Fields was claiming that we aren't going to play football unless we don't have a season, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, Jalen Johnson, man, if just this team can figure out what their identity is, I think long term, if I'm looking at it from a standpoint as, okay, let's look at the East, right? Who is not in the East anymore? At least for the year. Jason Tatum's hurt, right? Trying to think. There are guys that are injured. Tyrese Halliburton is another guy that's injured. So there are spots.
Got hurt in the East, but he's no longer in the East.
Right. So there are spots available for that All-Star. There's going to be some new faces that a lot of people are like, whoa, like there's going to be a lot of first-time All-Stars, I think, in this year, just based off of the fact guys are injured and there are new up-and-coming young players ascending, and they are ascending at a really fast rate. So I do think Jalen Johnson is going to be a guy that we probably will see, barring injury, in that All-Star category, because he's playing above his means as well. My other this week in the NBA was Denny Avdia. A lot of people who probably don't watch Blazers basketball, one, they're on the West Coast, and two, Blazers are not that good. And another reason is their coach is in a bit of a legal pickle, gambling, has not been there. But since then, the Blazers have been playing solid basketball under Tiago Splitter. For the season, Denny Avdia is averaging 26, 6, and 4. He's shooting 38% from the field. These are all-star numbers.
And they're winning games.
Last 5 games, 32 points against Noli. He shot 12 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. In a loss against the Magic, 27, 5, and 5. Loss against Miami, 33, 11, and 8. in a win against OKC, who handed OKC their first loss, 26-10-9, and then a loss against the Lakers, 33-6-2. These numbers are insane. Now, I don't know how long he might be able to keep this up, but this is like usually through that 10 game, those first 10 games, 10 to 12 games, we kind of start to figure out what teams are and what they aren't. I would like to see a little bit larger of a sample size, but this is a 10-game stretch. Like, this is like we
A lot of
were
games.
just talking about Jalen Johnson's all-star. These are all-star numbers from Denny Avdia. Now, I get it. He's in Portland. I don't know how good they're going to be moving forward, but I mean, they handed OKC one of their first loss of the season. That's the champs. And you would think this is year 5 for Avdia, and he was in Washington playing with the Wizards. He was drafted there. I don't know if it was on this podcast or it might have been Shaun and Vaughn. You could go back to those archives, and one of the players that we were kind of talking about on who is a guy that we like coming out of that particular draft, I mentioned Denny Avdia as one of the guys that was like, hey, this is a guy that I think he can create his own shot. He can get to the basket, and he can score the ball pretty well. I don't know if he was used properly with the Wizards because they just really didn't have a direction. You could say the same thing with Portland and what is their current direction. I think it's develop young guys, get in and try to see what they have as far as talent goes. But I think maybe the Thiago Splitter system is kind of sparking this ascension from him. Maybe he just needed the right system, right coach. But I've always thought that Avdia had the skill set and the repertoire to be a solid NBA player. But I didn't expect this. I don't think anyone did. And to have this is year 5 for him. So I don't know if we're starting to see just players, maybe, and even just in the NFL, where guys go to a different team under a different system, and we see them maybe not thrive or just jump off of the page because of where they were drafted, or where they were at, and it kind of really just depends on the right system and the right coach. And I think he's kind of found that niche with Thiago Splitter and this Blazers team, and he's been thriving. Now, I think a lot of people for the Portland fan base would have probably liked a Shaden Sharp or Scoot Henderson to pop, but based off of where they were drafted and what they were doing. But I think Shaden is he was coming off of injury, so we're definitely seeing flashes from him as far as what he can be athletically and as a basketball player. But I don't think anyone expected this from Denny Avdia. This was kind of like a surprise. When you order Mr. Pickles and you always get that cookie on the side, that free cookie.
What a pull.
Denny Avdia is the free cookie. You're like, whoa, I didn't know I get this with this meal. This is amazing. I just was hoping my sandwich was going to be this, but I get a free cookie with this too? Cool. I get a little dessert after this. So my this week in the NBA was definitely Denny Avdia, and I would like to see where he is next week, the weeks coming prior, because this guy has been balling out all night.
And just to go out there and, me and Tally are wrong a lot. Jalen Johnson was the 20th pick in the draft.
20th. There we go. Hey, hand up. We're here. We're not. I'm not saying we're ESPN. I'm not saying we're all this and that. 2 guys with a mic.
So let's get to some of these comments before we move on. We got my father, Smub. What is up, fam? What's going on? Uncle Manny, the Cowboys and Kings are why I drink. Uncle Manny, stay tuned. Unfortunately, we do have a Kings topic. But before we move on, Toddy, totally non-related to anything we're going to talk about today. Have you started your download for Call of Duty?
Absolutely not. Has not happened yet.
All right, so that was the plan for after the pod, but Tyler's got to wait an hour, and so that's okay. Just wanted to figure out our timeline here. Moving on. Do the Lakers need LeBron James? Toddy, what are your thoughts? The Lakers are they were off to a really hot start last week, but they took a couple L's consistently. Luke has been in and out of the lineup. We saw the Austin Reeves blow up, hit the scene, and a lot of the conversations from a lot of talking heads were, do they need LeBron James? LeBron James is old, lead GM, they don't need him. A week later, 8-5, fifth in the West. Toddy, do the Lakers need LeBron James?
Absolutely. I don't think it's a question. I understand the Luka numbers. I get it. Luka's gonna do that. He's just 35. Just pencil him in. 33 points. Just pencil that boy in. 35, 8, and 11, whatever.
Bet the over.
Just points, rebound, assists. Just bet that over. Austin Reeves, I get it. Everybody was talking. They were all in an uproar. Austin Reeves, he just dropped 40. Yeah, 30. He had this. He had that. I get it. I understand. Then you start looking at that win-loss column. Loss. I get it. LeBron James is 40. How old is LeBron?
40. He'll be 41 in December.
41. I understand. Age. LeBron is kind of defying father time right now. He's the anomaly. Like him and Tom Brady are like the anomaly of what a 40-year-old looks like in modern society. He is defying all of that. I think we can all say from a basketball perspective that LeBron James makes everyone better. We've just seen that from time and time again, from him being in Cleveland the first stint, literally carried that 07 team to the finals. He had Anderson Varejao and Boobie Gibson, Larry Hughes. Now, Larry Hughes was a dog. Zaltrudas Ilgauskas. I'm just pointing out names. Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers. Just guys that you really didn't think would be that. But those were like household names. Timothy Mozgov. Like, I can go on and on just about guys who we've seen LeBron play with, and they have literally gotten paid just for being on his team. I do think Kevin can probably put that back up. You're muted though, by the way. Muted.
I didn't mean to throw that up there. I was trying to type it out, but Mr. Him responded to you. Toddy said, we do not need LeBron, but it would be nice to have LeBron of recent years. And you were mentioning all the LeBron of recent years and all the guys that he's carried. So, this is why Shaun does all the backstage things, because I was typing away and accidentally clicked it. So, Toddy, I know you were having a great rant. I want you to keep going, but before you finish your rant, I would love for you to answer this question.
So this is Ev, by the way, Evan in the chat. He says we don't need LeBron, but it would be nice to have the LeBron of recent years. And I was kind of just mentioning off a couple of guys that LeBron has had in his career as teammates. Now, this is going back 20 years, damn near. But LeBron, he uplifts all of his teammates. Now, he is known for have been a pretty solid defensive presence in his last few years. I wouldn't really count on LeBron to be that at this stage in his career, but I think just as a floor general, as a scorer, he literally leads the NBA all time in scoring. But it just comes to a point where when we look at one of the best, arguably the greatest basketball player to ever play the game,
ain't no argue, but we don't need to get into that.
That's a whole nother episode for Kevin. But I do think the Lakers still need LeBron James. Now, I get it. You had the good week. But with LeBron, it's not a good week. It's like a good year. You have a really good stretch of games. When you have players out, you have other guys that step up. One of those guys being Austin Reeves. Kevin and I, we talk every day. Talk about Austin Reeves. He is on an expiring deal because he's trying to bet on himself and become one of those max type of players. And he has to be able to show that he can consistently carry a team, because he wants that type of money, carry a team to be given the keys to a team. You have to be able to show consistently week in and week out that you're able to win on a consistent basis. Now, the Lakers, last week, it was this, it was that, it was all this. I'm doing 50, 40, all this other crazy stuff. But now it's kind of bringing back to earth. You start to see the deficiencies of the Lakers, like they don't have a big man, a consistent big man. That's always just been the problem with them the past, I'd say, couple of years. But I do think when LeBron comes back, you start to see guys like DeAndre Ayton getting involved. You start to see guys, Marcus Smart. Like, you'll just see like a bunch of these other guys that are on this team just start, hey, look at this and this guy and all this. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's because LeBron James is on your team, and we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how long it is until he comes back. He has a sciatica in his back. So I did.
He's coming back on Tuesday.
Oh, we back. we back. But I did see that he started practicing again, so he was cleared for basketball activities. So it's gonna be a show, especially when LeBron comes back for sure.
Definitely. And your man is in the comments going crazy, and it's my turn to speak, so I can't get to all of these. I'm typing as fast as I can, but this is why you guys know why Shaun is so important to this podcast. But just getting to the next thing he said, man, literally. I think he's talking about picks in this situation. He said, I think we have most of our future picks post-LeBron era, but I'm not opposed to him helping us get a title this year. And then he said, but do you take the risk of having Luka unsure of who's going to have the last shot or feel any unease of him or LeBron narrative in the media? I'd rather go without LeBron in that retrospect.
I feel like LeBron knows, though. He has to know.
There has been time after time after time after time after time after time where LeBron has said, I will take the back seat. Kyrie, this is your team. AD, this is your team. But those guys haven't been able to step up. Luka Doncic, AD and Kyrie are great. They not Luka. When Luka came to the Lakers, LeBron would be able to play off ball, was shooting second best in his career from three with Luka. So you can put LeBron in an off ball situation. LeBron doesn't have to sit here and hold the ball and pound it 100 times. He doesn't have to do that. And for there to even be a conversation of who takes the last shot in the LeBron James narrative just goes to show how good he is. At 41 years old, LeBron James last season, to answer the question, do the Lakers need LeBron James? What team in the NBA would not want a second-team All-NBA player on their team? I get it. Austin Reeves looks really good with the ball in his hands, but we saw this trio put up crazy numbers last year. Like Toddy said, it came to a point where JJ said, we're not playing it big all night. LeBron was their best defender in the playoffs. So LeBron has no problem taking a step back. But LeBron's going to come in and still be LeBron James. Last year, 24 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 51.
All NBA, right, Kel?
Second team All NBA. Should have been first, but hey, neither here nor there. 38% from three and 52% from the field. In the playoffs, all those numbers went up. He led them in steals. He led them in blocks. He was their primary defender. So I get the narrative around him. Luka has already said this is his favorite player. Like, this is the dream to play with LeBron James. And LeBron James makes everybody better. Like, the reason Toddy has so much confidence saying Zildjius Ilgauskas, because before LeBron, who was that? People know Delonte West is a hobo, like a dude on the street. Delonte West is Delonte West because of LeBron James. Mario Chalmers, like Toddy was pulling names out of the hat that a lot of people don't really remember. LeBron James makes people better. When LeBron James comes to your team, you get better. And I'm not going to get into this rant because a lot of Laker fans have been in my DMs. We don't need him. He's washed. What happened before? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 consecutive seasons of lottery picks. No playoffs, no future. LeBron gets there, 3rd seed in the West, growing injury. They don't make the playoffs. Next year, championship. Oh, Mickey Mouse, bubble ring, blah, blah, blah. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. You know why, Toddy? Ask me why.
Why, Kevin?
Because that banner hangs up right next to Kobe's. So I don't want to hear none of that shit.
Hey, we're not going to do this.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's hanging up there with Magics and Shaqs and it's all in the same
Jerry
area.
West?
Magic. I mean, they're all right there next to each other. So I don't want to hear nothing about they don't count because they're hanging up there and they got a ring.
We're not going to do this. Not today, Kevin.
Not today? All right. Let's get into the comments and we'll keep this thing moving. He's another comment. He said, if the Knicks don't want Giannis, what's to say that they would want Braun for what he costs? There's no way in the world the Bucks, in my opinion, Todd, you might feel differently, would do a Giannis for LeBron trade. If they're trading Giannis, they're hitting that big red button and saying, I want 100 picks and Austin
Oh
Reeves.
yeah, there's definitely picks attached with that because LeBron is 41 and Giannis is in his early 30s.
Early 30s.
So we always come to this. Me and Kevin, like I said, we talk all the time, and he sends me trades, this, that, and the third. And it always comes down to how old is this person and how old is the person you're trading for. The teams don't want to go backwards. They usually want to get younger. So you're not going to trade a LeBron who's 41 years old for a younger Giannis who still has all of these years left in his prime. Giannis is technically he's like
100%.
Yeah, so you wouldn't trade him for a younger guy. LeBron's going to be done in the next
year.
Yeah, like year-ish, maybe one more year, but I don't. That's something. Good faith. I understand. This is he's talking as a Laker fan, so I understand where he's coming from. He's pulling things out of the hat, like the whole Nico here. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll get to that too. The Nico Laker Luka fell into your lap like from the sky
in the middle of the night.
You're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, $100 million just lands on the ground right in front of you. Like, this is literally what happened. You're just looking around like, did somebody drop this? Or this is for me? So, I mean, with that's kind of your meal ticket out of everything because, like Kevin already mentioned, 6 years in the lottery. So that was the Brandon Miller, the Julius Randle, the
Brandon Ingram.
Lonzo. Oh, yeah, I said Brandon Miller. Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball,
Larry Nance, Julius Randle, JJ Hart.
So we're going over. Let's not forget that the Robert Sacre years for Laker fans. Let's not forget that those were dark times. After Kobe, retired 61, that was great. But after that, it was a lot of just wasteland, a lot of, and then LeBron pops up. Hey, we got all these young guys with LeBron. We can go and win. Let's do it. And then, obviously packaged all those young guys up. Let's go get AD. They get AD.
Hanging a banner.
Shuts down. Championship. So, I mean, I think the main, what is the common denominator is LeBron James. So
one more comment for it. Oh.
I get it. You can trade him. What can you get for him? What are we looking for? I wouldn't trade him. That's just me personally because I'm not in the business of trading a guy whose name is LeBron James. But I understand where people are coming from, and they're saying, push the red button. Let's try and get what we can get for him. But at the same time, LeBron does have a no trade clause. So good luck with that. Good luck with that.
So one more comment before I move on. And he says, a 41-year-old cannot lead the team in stats for us to win a championship in 2026. We are competing against a young OKC team. Brother, I get it.
I understand. I get where you're
out
coming
with
from.
The old and with the new. I get it. I'm going to tell you this as a LeBronologist, but I'm going to put on my unbiased analyst hat.
It's not possible.
If LeBron is averaging the most point, if he's leading you guys in statistical stats, you're hanging a banner and we're going to the parade.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that means he's putting up because Luka's averaging 35. That means he's putting up 36 tonight, 10 and 10. Brother, we're partying in LA. But moving forward to the next team in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, no.
Toddy, it's looking like I was wrong, and you were right. But actually, we were both wrong because you said play-in, and at this rate, it's top 5. So it is not looking well for the Los Angeles Clippers. Oh, Toddy's coming back. It is not looking good for the Los Angeles Clippers. Toddy said 6 seed. I said 4 seed. So it's not looking good. And they are all coming off a 6-game losing streak. Kawhi Leonard has an ankle injury, a foot injury. Chris Paul has 3 straight DNPs. Nicholas Batum, Brooke Lopez, giving them jack shit. And the worst part about this, for the next 3 years, all them picks go to OKC. So I asked this question, is it time to panic? No. Because you're in a 3-year panic. Couple months ago, you were the 5th seed. Game 7 against the Nuggets. and now we're here. Another Kawhi injury. The acquisitions that they got that we thought were going to have a huge impact. They were going to have the deepest team in the NBA. Excuse me, A, B, C, and D. More of the story is they chose to go old at the wrong time, bringing in all these guys and them having no contribution. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna move on because I told you how I felt about Bradley Beal last episode, but now he's out for the season. Is it time to panic? Yes, but the panic is going to be over a 3-year span because you don't have a first round pick. Unless you're gonna sit here and say we're trading Kawhi and James Harden and Ivan Zubac. I mean, Ty Lue already came out and said we're gonna play our young guys, and he ended up that very next game playing two-way guys, 25 plus minutes. That's not a good thing. That means Steve is saying, "Hey, man, fuck it. Let's see what we got. Let's see if the young guys we have are going to be good enough to be rotators or rotational players." If they were to trade a James Harden and were to trade a Kawhi Leonard, what do they get in return? I don't know. Kawhi has the injury problems. James Harden's 36, but we saw last year he's still playing at all NBA, all star level. So he's still playing very well. We saw what Kawhi was able to do in the playoffs. If I'm a Clippers fan, I'm saying let's trade them and try to recoup something. Out of respect, you're not going to send them to Utah for good picks. You're not going to send them to Charlotte for good picks. You're going to send them to a contender. So it's at this point, you got to get rid of them because holding on to all of these players and hoping you turn it around. Like, yes, you have a top 5 coach in the NBA. You have a top 5 point guard. You have a top 5 small forward. You could even say Ivan Zubac is a top 5 center, but that's not enough. And it's really looking bad because a Norman Powell would have looked really good. And when we talked about the trade initially, it was like, oh, you're going to get rid of Norman Powell and bring in John Collins, Brooke Lopez, and Chris Paul. And of course the Clippers won the deal. And 3 weeks in, it's not looking hot. So, Toddy, is it time to panic for the Los Angeles Clippers?
I'm still kind of confused on, do you think it's time for them to panic, or you were just kind of just like...
It's time to panic, but I mean, you're going to panic for 3 years. So you don't have a single first-round pick. So it's really hard. And I did think about this when I wrote it because I listened to the Windhurst podcast, and he mentioned the 3 first-round picks that they owe the Clippers or the Thunder. So it's like because they owe these picks, they went big fish. They went big fish hunting because they wanted to contend.
Sam Presti the Howie Roseman of the NBA?
He's worse. Howie ain't pulling nothing. That's like us trading for Jahmyr Gibbs against 7 first-round picks. Like that's criminally, like that's a crime. What he did to them, and for Shea to become the best player in the world, one of the best players in the world, brother.
It goes all the way back to the Paul George and Pat Bev in Vegas. The Paul George and Pat Bev will win the championship. Do I think it's time for the Clippers to panic? I'll say yes. I was one of the guys. I mean, people have been calling me out for all the Bear stuff that I've said on here on the podcast. I was on this a little bit early. It was fresh off of. It was like in the summer, and I was looking at the Clippers roster. I was like, yeah, you got Kawhi, yeah, you got James. You traded. I don't recall exactly how I felt about the Norman Powell trade, but I wasn't like jumping over the fence for it. But I did think Norman Powell was a very solid player for them who could score the basketball, create his own shot, come off the bench and kind of provide that spark. And then they got John Collins, a younger guy. And I was just like, okay, you get a younger athletic wing who can defend. Didn't really shoot the ball well because his hand was messed up. I think he broke his hand or had surgery on his finger or something like that. And he was coming from Utah. And I was always just kind of like, how did the Clippers get better? And I never really thought that their team got better. I always thought they kind of just stayed in limbo, stayed the same, and didn't really progress. Coming off of an emotional playoff performance against the Denver Nuggets, who ended up going to the Western Conference Finals. And a lot of people will probably argue to the death, if Aaron Gordon doesn't have that tip dunk, the playoffs would have been a little bit different. I don't know if the Clippers would have went on, made the
Beat the Thunder.
Western Conference. I'm not saying that would have happened, but their playoff hopes would have been a little bit more. It would have been a little bit more wide open for them to kind of make some noise, make a deep playoff run. But I'm always wondering, is James Harden playing and is Kawhi Leonard playing? Really, if Kawhi Leonard is playing, and that's your star guy. He's the guy. He's the franchise. And for me to question if you're going to be in or out of the lineup is just a red flag in itself. We understand the talent that Kawhi Leonard brings to this team and what he's done in the past. Yes. I'm not going to go off and go on a Stephen A. rant and say he's the worst superstar in NBA or in like sports history, NBA history. I'm not going to say that. But it comes down to how reliable are you and are you going to play? And when you don't play, our team, it kind of revolves around you. And when you're not playing, we suck. And when James Harden
to put it nicely,
either, we also suck. And then you got Chris Paul out there just running around getting cardio. I'm just, hey, it just comes back to the TikTok that you keep seeing of Chris Paul and Kawhi and James Harden and Brad, and they just keep calling it the unction. So, I mean, these are all guys that we've seen, like Brad. I've been a Brad supporter. When he went to Phoenix, I was saying, this guy averaged 30. He was this, that, and the third. Like, he's a guy that go get a bucket. Kevin was just like, it's that one meme where he just has his hand on your shoulder. It was like, hey, man, I don't know what you thought this was. This ain't.
But it ain't that.
This ain't that. And that ain't this. And Kevin has always kind of just put his hand on my shoulder and say, hey, man, you don't see it yet, but I see it for you. The end is near. And it's kind of just like, and you see him get hurt, which obviously sucks because you thought that him, his situation in Phoenix was kind of a weird situation. He would smile. He's like, I love it here. They're paying me how much?
Man.
Yeah, they're paying me how much? So
also, like, basketball in Alaska for 50 M's a year.
Man, it was a good time for him. And I just think basketball it didn't really work out for him with the system and just the whole vibe of Phoenix for him wasn't a good space. And he ends up going to the Clippers and doesn't really play. It's kind of been in and out of the lineup with injury and obviously is out for the year. So it kind of goes back to me, or not me. It kind of goes back to the statement of, do super teams work? And it's kind of like you see how teams are constructed versus how teams are bought and forced together. And it doesn't usually always work. Now, we can kind of go down the line of what a super team is, this, that, and the third. You go, I guess, the first super team.
Don't you? Okay, I thought you were going to say the Heat. I was going to end the stream.
The Celtics team with KG and how that team was formed. A lot of people are going to say obviously the Heatles, but that team was that worked. They won championships. So I mean, like,
so you're saying it's only a super team if they win?
Yeah, the KD Warriors, like, and then we kind of look at it we could go all the way back to when it was the Karl Malone, the Gary Payton Lakers. They were like, we gotta run and we gotta go get one. And they got bounced by the Pistons. And super teams don't really always work. Now, a lot of people now are going to try and put that super team logo on certain teams. Like, people like tried to say that the Thunder team was a super team. And I'm like, no. Well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was traded for, obviously, in the trade that Kevin already mentioned that has the Clippers panicking. And with those picks, they drafted who? Chet Holmgren. They drafted Jalen Williams. Who else is on their team from?
Cason
Wallace. Like this, the Presti was cooking, and I don't know if
they have 3 first-round picks this year,
and I don't know if he saw the second apron. I'm pretty sure he probably saw something about it brewing. I don't know if he saw to this magnitude of what it would look like, but the second apron and how it's kind of limiting a bunch of teams, it's kind of stopping teams from forming a super team, basically. And so it's putting a lot of pressure on these GMs to get out and do their job and draft and draft well. And we're seeing guys like AJ Mitchell, who signed a, what was it, 3-year, $5 million deal, and he's averaging like 18 points.
UC Santa Barbara.
So I mean, I just think there's guys who know ball. Sam Presti's one of those guys who's doing a hell of a job. And then there's guys that kind of just sit in the front office and just kind of just do nothing. And they think that they can run their team back and not try and build around them, make any type of progressions to be better. And it's crazy what this Clippers team is, what the future could look like.
Nothing.
What the future could look like down the line, and how bad it could go back to when people were having bags over their heads. That's how bad it could get. So, yes, they got to figure it out. I don't know how you figure it out, but Kevin's saying you trade all your guys.
Let's try to get some kind of draft capital.
Get something, but it's just what are we doing there? I feel like the Clippers are just kind of stuck, and they just got a new arena last year too.
James Harden to the Bucks
for AJ Mitchell or AJ Green, and like picks.
No, they probably have to send away some of their bigger contracts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see a way where, unless they figure it out, I don't see a year where they finish on their team. Moving on, Uncle Manny, it's time. Are the Kings making the right move by rebuilding? Toddy, as me being a Kings fan, I want you
You're
to go
a Kings
first. Hey, I'm born and breeded. Only one other person in the world knows where I'm on the fence, and that is you. And we're not going to bring that out there. You know, I'm a closet fan this year. I'm a closet fan. Toddy, are the Kings making the right decision by rebuilding?
Absolutely. I think we're a couple of years too late that this is happening. Let's just go back. Let's go back in time. Let's hop in that time machine. Light the beam. Who was on that team? Wasn't De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Tyler, or not Tyler Jones.
Who was that coach? Mike Brown.
Mike Brown.
Right.
Trey Lyles, Sabonis.
We're rocking, we're rolling. We go game 7 at home, playoffs. It's been however long, how many years it was.
16.
Since the Kings had a playoff game, let alone playoff winning series. Steph Curry happens. That's okay. That just, you can't really.
That's your most points ever in a game 7.
Didn't want it to get there, and Steph Curry goes nuclear. We understand all that. All right. What do we do then the following year? Hey guys, let's
do it again.
Let's do it. Let's re-sign Harrison Barnes. Let's do it. Let's get out there and do it. Now, I will put my hand up and say I was one of the guys saying that the Kings should have signed Kyle Kuzma.
Every offseason, Kyle Kuzma.
I'll put my hand up and say that. But I was hoping the Kings would get the gumption to go do something. We can't bring this team back because obviously what happened didn't work. Now, I get it. You got to the playoffs. You did that. But every time a team is kind of bubbling and brewing and they get to the playoffs, the next year, that team is making moves in the offseason to make their team better. And I don't think Monty McNair did that at all. They didn't really do anything. They just literally brought the exact same team back. And they were playing well in that season, but things kind of just crumbled. Guys got hurt. They missed the playoffs. It was a little bit too late for that. Then you start getting into contract situations. De'Aaron Fox gets hurt. He doesn't want to get surgery in the offseason. He wants to get surgery during the season on their time. And then the Kings go on a 5-game losing streak. And what does the owner do? The owner panics and then fires Mike Brown out of the blue. Out of the blue. I don't think anybody thought Mike Brown was going to get fired. Nobody does. And then, okay, fired Mike Brown. And then De'Aaron Fox is like, all right, you're going to fire my guy. pack me up. I'm out of here. Goes to the Spurs. What do the Kings get for De'Aaron Fox? Zach LaVine? Like, just look at what De'Aaron Fox is doing now. He's hooping. He's fucking going crazy in San Antonio. So you're kind of like, damn, why couldn't he do that with us? I mean, shit, he got you guys to the playoffs. What do you want? I mean, he signed 2 big deals. I think 1 big deal. Two big deals with the Kings. And then you're kind of like, all right, you're in that realm of, do I want to give De'Aaron the Supermax? And I understand that. But he is all you got. he's all you got. You gotta take care of your guys. And I don't know if after Mike Brown got fired, the Supermax wasn't gonna keep him. After you fired this guy and then, all right, De'Aaron, here's the Supermax. We want to, and then he's kind of looking at you sideways like, bro, you just fired what do you mean, Supermax?
Coach of the year.
Why didn't you bring this up before all of this? And literally, Kevin said Mike Brown was literally the coach of the year at one point in time. And then now he's gone. Like, he signed an extension. He literally signed an extension to be there. Yeah, you go on, kick rocks. We're good. Go ahead. I'm going to pay you to not be here. And then you're kind of looking at you drafted Devin Carter, who I liked him. Out of Providence. I gambled on Providence games, so I knew who he was. And Kevin was like, who the fuck is this guy? And the craziest part is when you drafted him, I had no idea.
He was hurt. We drafted him in the red shirt.
I had no idea he was hurt. And he didn't play until literally like halfway into the year was over. And you look at that draft, and there were guys like Kel'el Ware that were out there. And Kevin probably could speak on that part a little bit more, but there were other guys out there. Bub Carrington was out there that you could have, another young guy that you could have got out and could have just rolled the ball. He would have been out and go hoop. So now we're in this. Let's go get DeMar DeRozan. We got Zach LaVine, Russell Westbrook.
Unction.
It's what the Clippers are, but like what the Clippers would be in the 3 years that Kevin was already mentioning. And there's a lot of talent on this roster, but I just don't think it's constructed correctly. Like, it's not Keegan Murray, who signed an extension, is not playing. And he's supposed to be the future of the team. And so we're kind of just looking at it from where is this team going? And I think that was a lot. Everybody was kind of saying the same thing about the Kings is what is the construct of the team? Like, even when they hired Scott Perry and Scott Perry came into the front office, he said he wanted to keep the team together. I was like, why? What do you mean? Like, we gotta start wheeling and dealing and getting guys out here. I just think the King, like, they're starting to realize this a little bit too late. Like, this should have like 2 years ago there should have been like, all right, let's try and flip this upside down. Let's kind of take it up, tear it down, and kind of build it back up again. But I already saw Marcellus's video. Marcellus Howard, shout out to Marcellus. He's like, we're in a 20-year rebuild. He's like, how are we rebuilding a rebuild? And it's kind of just like, and this is just, I'm not even a Kings fan because you guys, people that watch podcasts, I'm a Celtics fan. This is me just speaking from, I want the Kings, like, I root for the Kings to do good because obviously they're the team in the city. But it's like, God, why is it taking so? Me and Kev could go in there and just be like, all right, this is how we're going to do this, and that. I guarantee me and Kev being the president and the GM, probably the Kings would be all right now. And so, and you're looking at it from the future of the team, where, like, the picks. You're looking at the picks of the future, like, the Kings didn't really get that much for De'Aaron Fox in return. They were just trying to just get him off, and they didn't get anything. And I feel like De'Aaron's like he's one of the top point guards in the league when he's healthy. So I feel like I shouldn't have went on the rant, but Kevin's kind of just sitting here like, hey, man, we need to do something.
Well, the Kings making the right move by rebuilding. Toddy said a lot of great things. We are years too late in this rebuild. Let's break this down piece by piece by piece. After the Beam team, third team in the conference, We lose to a historic second highest points in a Game 7 to Steph Curry. Cool. You know what? Steph Curry Game 7. Harrison Barnes makes a 3-game 4. It showed our youth. The Warriors are a championship team. They came in there and showed why they were a championship caliber team. That next offseason, we had the opportunity to push all of our pieces into the middle. We saw that what we have is winning. We're just missing a few pieces. Like Toddy said, they said, no, 3rd seed, let's do it again. Everybody else is getting better. That year, shit show. The next season, this last offseason, I told Toddy, De'Aaron Fox is not going to sign an extension. We have not shown him anything. I was showing Toddy trades before the season. I said, this isn't going to work. We're not adding to the puzzle. And we get to last season, first 3 weeks, we play like shit, and we fire Mike Brown. And the move that we made was bringing in DeMar DeRozan. If Shaun was here, he would tell you, we got DeMar DeRozan! The second biggest free agent since Chris Webber! I told him, I said, hey, hand on the shoulder, brother. This shit ain't gonna work.
We gotta have Shaun put that in the edits so we can hear
This
when it pops
shit
up.
is not going to work. We are now taking food off of Keegan Murray's plate. We saw that Keegan Murray could be the 3rd best player on a playoff team, on the 3rd best team in the NBA in the Western Conference. We saw that Keegan Murray could be that. We then say, take a step back, Keegan. We're going to bring in DeMar. Shot chucking DeMar. Shit don't work. We fire Mike Brown. And this, after all that I said, this exact moment is where it hit the fan. DeMar, we get De'Aaron Fox, and we then decide to say, you know what? You've done so much for our franchise. Where would you like to go? Cool. We still want to compete to be a play-in team. So we don't want picks. We're still here. It's still like the beam. We get a 2027 Spurs pick, and we get a 2030 Timberwolves pick. Cool, it sucks. Especially when the Spurs have the Hawks picks for the next 3 years. That ended up being the 2nd pick. Dylan Harper should have been a king. But instead, we say, Zach LaVine, we saw you and DeMar do it. We saw it explode. Well, that was on the East Coast. This is the West Coast. It's California. It's sun shining. You guys are locals. It's going to work.
Plus, that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah. And it didn't work then when they were younger. So why in the fuck would it work now? Then we get to the draft. Toddy mentioned it. Devin Carter. Shaun again. We did it. We got a point guard. Brother. He's our age. He's cooked. His best basketball is behind him. Guys like Khalil Ware, Bub Carrington, Jared McCain, Dalton Connett. Like, there's a lot of guys that we could have had on this team that would have given us more. And now his name's in trade talks. His highlight of a king is his Stockton Kings G League run. That's what he's known for. It's a lot that goes into it. And now we need to sell these guys off to the highest bidder. Zach LaVine is having his highest scoring average since 4 years ago. He is playing at a great rate right now, and I don't think his value is going to get any higher. We send him off. We send DeMar. We send Sabonis. Even if it is up Highway 99 to the Bay, I don't care. Blow it up. And Toddy and I...
You guys own your own pick this year?
Yes.
So this is the year to own your own pick.
This is the year to do it. We talked about this next draft class.
Want to start. This is the year. I know we're an NBA podcast, but this is a basketball podcast. You are looking at guys. Let's just go down the list. There's AJ Devonsa, obviously. There's Cameron Boozer, obviously. Darren Peterson. Have you ever heard of him?
Nate Ament, Mikael Brown, and that's not even mentioning Cole Pete. This draft class is huge.
This is the draft to blow it up. So thank God you own your pick. this year.
But I mean, hey, this is the same front office that took Marvin Bagley over Luka. So you know what? We might take the wrong. We might call the wrong boozer's name, and we get the brother. You know, the Kings are the Kings. It's time to blow it up. What does this look like afterwards? I do not know. But
who's the
moving
worst
on.
team in the league right now? That's a great question. I'm gonna look that up.
The Nets.
Yeah, it's probably the Nets, honestly. Y'all ain't too far off.
No, we're not the worst, but I know who the worst is, and the worst is the Nets. But Toddy, real quick, so we do have to go. Blue is saying he has to go to the bathroom. Quick thoughts. Who is the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
I was going to say the same thing. Injuries. I mean, shit.
Shea has sat out like 6 fourth quarters, and he's still averaging 30.
No Jalen Williams. And it's crazy to think that one loss came from the damn Portland Trailblazers.
Danny Appiah. Come on, man. He might be an all-star.
Yeah, I'll go splitter. You know, they just got to figure it out.
Jalen Williams had to tell in the post-game interview and said, hey, guys, I still play basketball. I
promise.
I promise I still play basketball. This reminds me of the time when the Warriors were the Warriors. And they were going on these crazy win streaks. And Steph Curry and KD and Clay, they were all sitting out. They just didn't play in the entire fourth quarter. Like, they were just like, yeah, go ahead. We're up 30. Who cares? Like, who's going to stop us? This OKC team is just insane. The only loss literally being to the Blazers is kind of just how this is the NBA and any given night can be beat. But I think it's scary to see how good this team is without Chet, without Jalen Williams. Like, these are max guys that aren't playing. And albeit I understand Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP of the league, he's averaging 30 and he just sat out 6 fourth quarters. And they were like 12, 13 games into the season. So it's kind of just like, okay, well, it doesn't matter that we are missing all these guys, but we have, I already mentioned, AJ Mitchell, a guy for the Thunder who they have drafted in the second round. And he's already signed a 3-year, $5 million deal. So obviously that's a lot of money to me, you, Kevin, and Joe Schmo over there. But in the NBA, that's like literally pennies on the dollar. And he's getting prime production out of this player who is averaging north of 17 points a game. So when you have, I feel like it's in Sam Presti we trust. It's kind of just like whoever is just, as long as you have him, you're going to be set for a while. And I get at the, or who was it that, I think at the parade, he was talking about, we won 24 games in 1 year. And then we won 30-something games. Then we won 40-something games. We won 50-something games. All those fans were still there. And Sam Presti has done a hell of a job of drafting, constructing this team. And for them to be where they're at right now, number one in the West, number one in the NBA, it's crazy on how good this team can literally be. They're not even at their best. They're like kind of just moseying on along. And Shai's still dropping 30 here, dropping 30 there. And it's, all right, guys, fourth quarter. You guys go at it. Do what you got to do. I'll be right here watching. Call me if you need me. So, I mean, this Thunder team, man, who's going to stop them? The Thunder.
Them.
The Thunder.
Literally what I was going to say. No one's going to stop them but them. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But we are going to be closing out this episode of Stats Over Politics, episode 168. Please continue to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on all of the social medias. We have now reached 290 subscribers. We are on the way, and we wouldn't be here without you guys. So I speak for all three of us, including Kaz and Alex. So I guess 5 of us. We appreciate you guys that tune in on a weekly basis, especially with the 2 days a week. We really do appreciate you guys. So please continue to follow us, and we will see you guys next week on episode 169. Toddy, any closing thoughts?
No, we get to watch football again. and basketball. So I get to watch college basketball. I'm going to watch the Tar Heels play all year, Kevin. We're back.
You ain't missed nothing. But in episode 169 will be a funeral for Toddy's fantasy team. So it's going to be a good week of football, and hopefully, it ends with an Eagles W. So we will see
Both
you
of my
guys.
running backs are on buys. How convenient is that?
We will see you guys Monday after the Monday Night Football game. For Kevin Dent and Jaevon Toddy, we are signing off, and we will see you guys on Monday. Peace. Go Birds, dickhead.